Hey, what's up guys? Jimmy here with Hey Worship Leader. Today I'm building an HX Stomp mini board and I thought I'd turn the camera on and show you the process. Coming up. Now, some of you may know I had 3 surgeries this year. I had a kidney transplant and then I had 2 other surgeries due to complications, but I think and I hope that I'm done. One of the things that comes with recovering from surgery is not being able to pick up heavy things, and my old pedal board was way too heavy. I had an old salvage custom wooden pedal board with a power supply underneath, a big road case with a compartment on the side to hold a lot of things. It was very heavy. And since I got the HX Stomp a few months ago, I have fallen in love with it. It is compact, lightweight. When I first got the Stomp, I made a video about some of the problems, but I've learned a few things. If you want to check out that video, I'll link it here with a card. Hopefully it'll be right here somewhere. Go check that video out. Let's get into the pedal board build. So I saw a video by Rhett Scholl on his channel when he made an HX Stomp mini board, and I just fell in love with the idea. And one of the main things that I loved was the actual pedal board that he used. This is the Mono Light Plus. And the reason I like it is because it's, like he said, just one piece of metal. It's really light. It's got these rubber feet on the bottom, and it's the perfect size to go with the HX Stomp, as well as a few other pedals that I wanted to put on the board to maximize the HX Stomp. I'll show you what those pedals are. First, we have the HX Stomp, of course. Then we have the Dunlop Volume X Mini Low Friction Band Drive. I'm a player who has to have a volume pedal. I love doing swells. Next up is the Jet Micro. I'm excited about this little controller because it's MIDI and it opens up a lot of possibilities with the HX Stomp. You only have 6 blocks with the HX Stomp, but you only have 3 buttons. This one allows you access to the other 3 buttons, as well as clicking, scrolling through. If you hit these 2, you can scroll up and down presets. And then you can also hold all 3 and enter tap tempo and tuner mode. I'm very excited about this. Thank you, Junior Thompson, for creating this awesome piece of gear. I'm excited about it. In order to save space in the HX Stomp, there are a couple pedals that I wanted to add to the chain. First up is this compressor. This is the Becko's Comp IQ Pro compressor. It crammed a lot into this little 1x2 pedal case. One thing to note is that the power input on this pedal takes a longer barrel than your standard 10mm barrel. It says you need longer than 12mm, recommended 15mm. As I searched online, I couldn't find anything that long. And so I contacted the Becko's FX people, and they told me I could just cut my barrel to size. And you will notice that I got a little bit ahead of myself and cut my finger, but it's healing, and that'll be okay. Next up is the pedal that I'm most excited about. It is the Specular Reverb version 3. I'm most excited about this pedal because it also has a tap delay mode. There are actually 7 modes in this little pedal that you can scroll between. It's stereo in and out. It has very luscious, long trails of reverb awesomeness. It even has spillover between the different settings if you stay within the same algorithm. I'm very excited to see what this pedal can do. I haven't had it long, but I'm very excited to dig in and get some great sounds out of it. You can also do an external tap tempo with it, but it takes the little 1/8" jack. I'm not going to be using that because in echo mode, your preset select switch turns into your tap tempo. This is the same company that makes the Specular Tempest, GFI Systems. They make some great products, go check it out. The reason I went with the Specular Reverb instead of the Tempest is because of the size, and it was a lot cheaper, and I still get a lot of great sounds out of it. I'm gonna be using this through the effects loop on the Stomp, and I'll show you how I put that together later. And last but not least, to power this pedal board, I went with the Chalk's DC7 power supply. And the reason I got this power supply is because of the height of the actual unit. Fits perfectly under the mono pedal board. I will be using 2 of the outputs to power the Stomp, and I have a special cable that was made specifically for this power supply and line 6 pedals. The problem with HX Stomp is that they have a 2.5 center negative power barrel acceptor. What do you call that? They take a 2.5 rather than the standard 2.1mm barrel, and there are ways to connect different cables in order to use these adapters and make sure the power is correct, but a company called Logston created this cable that is a one-and-all solution. So on this end you have the 2 inputs, and on this end you have a 2.5mm barrel so that you don't have to have separate connectors and adapters. It just plugs straight into the DC7 and goes straight into the HX Stomp. Problem solved. As far as how I'm attaching the pedals to the board, I'm using the 3M dual lock. I've never used this before, but I hear it's superior in every way to the traditional hook and loop, or what do they call it? Velcro. I'm very excited to use this stuff and see how it actually works. As far as my patch cables, I'm using Lava Tightrope solderless patch cable kit. I have a bunch of these left over. Some of them are too small, so instead of buying the kit again, I just found that you could get 20 feet or 10 feet, I can't remember. I think I got 20 feet of cable for, oh no, that's what it was. I got 10 feet of cable for $2 a foot. So for 20 bucks, I got all the cable I would need. I already have all the little ends, so I didn't have to buy those again. And I spent $4 and got the little tool that I will need. So my plan is to lay everything out. Oh, one last thing is, as I build these cables, I'm gonna be using a cable tester. This is the Behringer CT100. It would be horrible to make these cables and not test them and get it all together and realize that nothing works. So I will be testing these cables first to ensure that they work. All right, let's get started. So I've been thinking about this for a few weeks as I was waiting for different components to come in, and this is what the pedal board should look like when it's done. We have first the HX Stomp, going up to the Specular Reverb, Jet Micro, Becos Effects, Comp IQ, and the Dunlop Mini. I will be going into the Dunlop Mini, straight into the compressor into the input of the HX Stomp. Then I will be coming out of the send into the Specular Reverb, coming out stereo, going back into the return of the HX Stomp. So the first thing I need to do is make some patch cables. And first, I need to take the ends off of these. I hadn't thought through all this. I hope it works. I'm assuming these are reusable. It appears that this one, at least, is not solderless. This is, in fact, a soldered cable. I did not know that. Let's check another one. I mean, that's soldered. All day long, that's soldered. So my plan to do this today does not look like it's going to work. So, turns out this is not gonna work. I thought I had thought through everything, but this one little thing I assumed, I thought these were the ends that I needed, and they are not. So, I didn't bring my camera with me, but I have my phone camera, iPhone 7. It works fine. Anyways, I was putting together my pedal board, starting to build my Lava Tightrope patch cables, and turns out the little tips I had were for soldered. They look exactly the same, but I thought that's what they were. That's what you get for assuming. And so they're not that. So I'm going to Guitar Center to pick up something, because today is the only day I had to build my pedal board, unless I wait until, I don't want to wait, but if I have to wait, I'll wait. But I was in here the other day and they have two different brands. I didn't at the time like them, I didn't think, but maybe I will. If I do, I'll buy it and go back and try to build my pedal board. If not, I'll build my pedal board another day. All right, so I'm back. I went to Guitar Center and I got this kit right here, the Boss Pedal Board Cable Solderless Custom Kit, and we'll see how it goes. So, before I cut any cable, I went ahead and tested to see if I could do it right, and I put in the cable tester. I think that's good. Now to make some patch cables. So I got my patch cables made, and I got my power supply hooked up, and I hooked it all up before I attached anything to make sure there were no problems. I tested the patch cables, everything works, it sounds good, and it looks like this right now. But I'm going to clean all this up and put it under the board. We'll do that now. Alright, quick update. I've got everything going, I've hooked it all up. I'm just putting on this dual lock, which is pretty cool. wired up. Everything is in, everything's wired. Now I just have to hook up the power on the back. All right, got it all hooked up, and that's what it looks like. I did some proper cable management underneath using the marine grade zip ties. There it is. Let's hook it up and see what it sounds like. Alright, that wraps up this video. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. I'll be coming out with some more content and some updates on Hey Worship Leader very soon. If you haven't yet, you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Hey Worship Leader. We'd love to see you there. Feel free to message me or comment down below with any questions, and I will see you next time. And last but not least, to power this pedal board, I went with the Chalks DC7 power supply. And the reason I got this pedal is, there's a lot of different switches. There's these little dip switches. Dip switches? I don't know about that.